had this on my mind, and I wanted to make sure that I did this. And I know for sure my team can replay it. Hey, Lori, tomorrow for the people that missed it. But I wanted to talk to you about success and what hungry really looks like. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Dawn. Great broadcast earlier. I came on and shared for you and Tanya. Great job. Hey, JR in Vegas. Hey, GSFOG. Hey, Rhonda Pugh. Hey, guys. Hey, JB Northern. Make sure you share the broadcast. Hashtag shared. We're going to be giving away a $20 gift card to my digital store so you guys can go in there and buy you something great. Hey, Sharonda Sanders. Haven't seen you in forever. So hashtag shared to win a gift card to my digital store. Hey, Chris. How you and the girls doing? So I wanted to talk about the recipe for success, or really kind of sort of the recipe for hunger. And to me, that's the baseline for how do you do what everybody else fails to do, and what appears to be a deadlift. And if you know anything about weightlifting, a deadlift is when you have to completely move something from point zero all the way and hold it over your head, right? That's a deadlift. And that's what really starting a business is. And, you know, in order to get that far and not give up, because everybody, I don't care who you are, including myself, you're going to be dealt some blows because this thing changes. You know, this is not a target that's just sitting still and waiting on you to get your life right and your business right to aim at it. This is a always moving target. And so in order to persevere, you know, the first step is even more so than your mindset and even more so than motivation. You got to be hungry. You know, that's one of the things I love in that little show P. Diddy has, like The Four. He always talks about eat, eat, eat. And if you listen to him talk, he talks about how when you're really hungry, you leave it all on the table every single day. Hey, Sharita. Hey, sis. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, Teresa. Thanks for sharing. If you guys haven't shared the broadcast, please share. But he talks about how when you're really hungry, you don't blame other people. You work and work and work until you figure it out. And I've talked to so many people over the last few days that when one little thing doesn't work right, they're ready to throw in the towel. And that blows me away. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you're in my UCU group, I'm going to give you guys a special video with some takeaways as to what I need to see you guys do in order to really bring this lesson home. But first and foremost, hunger to me, and this is just my definition, and what I encourage you to do is define what hunger is for you. But hunger for me is wanting more for myself today than I had yesterday. Being able to provide more for my family today than I could yesterday. Being smarter today than I was yesterday. That's what hunger is to me. Hunger is saying I have a choice that if I want to change my situation, I can. And I will. Regardless. I'm going to repeat that. Hunger for me is a choice. And every day when we wake up, we all have choices. And we can say, you know what? I'm going to choose to just be okay. Or I can say, I'm going to choose to be more. And in order for me to be more, I have to do more. And I have to do differently. Because, see, there's only so much more you can do. I think we have to say we got to do more and we got to do more differently. So to me, hunger is more than motivation. Hunger is the drive that makes me work when I don't want to. Because I know that there's more on the line than just my success. Oh, thank you, Sharita. I appreciate that. And so hunger to me is the ability to make a change in my life and being committed to that change no matter what. So that's hunger to me. That's my definition of hunger. And I challenge you to define what hungry looks like for you. Because I talk to people, and Drake said it best. He said there's way more people that want it than people that have it. And see, the access, it's there for anybody. Anybody can have it. But do you have enough determination and hunger to go get it? Look at your neighbor and say, go get it. See, because it's not going to come to you. And going and getting it can't be a part-time thing. It can't be a temporary thing. If you want it, you got to go get it every day. You got to wake up getting it, and you got to go to bed getting it. And I am behooved by the number of people in business that make business about everything more than going to get a client every day. The essence of business is that if you were a caveman, your job is to hunt and feed your family. That's what business is. So every day that you're not making a move towards getting a client is a wasted day in business. You want to move the needle on your bank account? Go get a client every day. And anything other than that is not hungry. Because there's not any excuse for not growing and building your business. And yet times change and times get tough. But what the essence of what you do remains the same. And if you're really hungry, you'll do everything that it takes. If I give you a recipe as a coach, you're not going to do number 1 and number 6. If I give you a 10-step recipe as a coach and I say, look, here's how you cook this $1 million cake. And you go out there and you say, well, I'm just going to do number 1 and I'm going to do like number 6. And then your cake don't turn out to be $1 million. It's not my fault. I gave you the recipe. And hungry means I'm going to do steps 1 through 10. And then when the cake is done, I'm going to even put a little whipped cream and a cherry on top. I'm going to do more than you required. You cannot possibly do less than what the recipe calls for and think you're going to still be successful. So that's number 2. So number 1 is hunger is more than motivation. Number 2 is doing more than is required. Never be comfortable. Hey, Keisha. So if you want to say to yourself, I'm hungry, now don't get it twisted. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. Hashtag shared. I'm going to be giving away a $20 gift certificate to my digital store, to someone on Periscope and Facebook. Hey, Trina. Hey, Nelson. And it's more than pushing through it, Christina. I'm going to look at it like this. Comfortable and grateful are 2 different things. I am amazingly super grateful for everything that I have. Hey, Cordelia. But at the same time, I am not comfortable. And if that means that I can get up tomorrow and compete with myself, see, that's my only competition. My only competition is, can I be better today than I was yesterday? Hey, Naquana. And if you're not making that confrontation, if you're not competing with yourself in that manner, hey, Prophetess, welcome back, then you're comfortable. If you're truly hungry, you're never comfortable. There's something in your life or something in your business that you're always working to improve. And that doesn't mean that you're insatiable. That just means you want to be your best you and that you're for real about it. Hey, Lynn, that you're serious about it. So grateful and comfortable are 2 different things. And that brings me to number 3. Are you in relentless pursuit of what success looks like? And again, it changes for day to day. What worked for your business last year, it may not work this year. Look at those algorithms in Facebook. They're always changing. So you got to always be working to educate yourself with what works now. You got to be in a relentless pursuit. To me, it's the difference between good work versus great. And there's a book by Tim Grover called Relentless. If you don't know who Tim Grover is, Tim Grover is a basketball performance coach. He coached Kobe Bryant. He coaches LeBron James. He's coached many of the greats. And he wrote a book called Relentless. And he talked about what it takes to be great. And he gave 3 levels. He said, I can't remember the 3 levels, but it was basically, are you apathetic? Meaning whatever happens, happens. Do you try a little bit? Or do you try a whole lot? To the point that he made the comparison. And again, if you haven't shared the broadcast, share the broadcast. And thank you guys for the hearts. He made the comparison of when Kobe, who's already a good player, tore his ACL. And instead of leaving the game where he'd already scored a magnificent amount of points, he went to the free throw line and made both shots in order to make sure his team won. The difference between good and great, that's hungry. And when you find a way to define hunger for yourself, a lot of y'all are looking for hunger in the world. And that's the unfortunate thing, is nobody can give you hunger. I can give you some level of motivation, but at the end of the day, nobody can get you hungry but you. You got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of your current situation. I'm going to tell you, sick and tired turns into hungry. The first time that you realize that your dominance in not stopping, your perseverance can change your situation, like literally, you become hungry. Because that means that you never become a victim to your finances. You never become a victim to the relationships that you're in. You never become a victim, hey auntie, to anything else in your life once you determine that you're going to be hungry. Hey Barry. Again, a lot of people say they're hungry, but everybody does not mean it. Everybody does not wake up every day and say, you know what? And that was one of the reasons that I brought Shamari Wills on. And if you guys didn't catch it, I'll probably send the replay out tomorrow via email. But there's a book that's hungry. That's hungry, Barry. There's no such thing as late. There's a book by Shamari Wills called Black Fortunes. And in that book, he talks about how the first generation of African Americans out of slavery became millionaires. And it's a very little known story. Everybody says Madam C.J. Walker was the first millionaire. She was not. She was the first one to flaunt her wealth, but she was not first. They were hungry because what happened was they had been living in squalor. They had been living with nothing. And when they came out of slavery and realized that they now had the freedom to control their destiny, they said, I'm not going to let anything stop me. And I think what's happened is we've grown comfortable because we got a little job. We got a little piece of house the bank owns. We got a little piece of car the bank owns. And we've grown comfortable and allowed our creativity to be siphoned away from us at a job. And I'm not going to lie, it was me too. You know, they stole my creativity. They stole my energy, my effort, my great ideas, my leadership. They stole all of that. And I allowed them to. And at the point where I said, you know what, if I can do so much for this job, just imagine what I can do for myself. Sick and tired morphed into hungry. Is anybody keeping up? If you're keeping up, say, I got you, coach. Is anybody keeping up with what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's not until we get sick and we get tired that we turn into hungry. A lot of us, to be honest, are just too comfortable to make that stretch into what hungry is. And as long as you're comfortable, unfortunately, as long as you're lying to yourself, right? Because until you and your kids have everything that you need, from college tuition to houses to cars and land in your name, you don't have anything. You don't have anything. Comfortable. Comfortable. And I told people earlier, I said, look, if you're ready to get uncomfortable and move yourself to the next level, send me a message on Facebook. Let's spend some time together. Let's get you into a program so you can make change if you're ready to be hungry. And there's a difference. So we talked about, number one, it's more than motivation, because motivation wears off. Motivation dies. Motivation goes to sleep. Hunger is insatiable. Number two, it's the difference between grateful and comfortable. Are you setting big goals for yourself? I had a meeting with my team earlier, and we plan on doing 5 cities. Man, I can't believe I'm about to say this. 5 cities in about 6 or 7 states for the rest of this year. So we're going to do 25 to 35 live events in about 25 to 35 cities, from the East Coast to the West Coast, Florida, Texas, the South, the Midwest, you name it. We're going to be there. And it's scary. And it's a big goal, but I'm hungry. And, you know, when you do things that are outside of your comfort zone, you're rewarded. And that's the difference. We all have the capacity. But are you more hungry? Thank you, Alicia. Not yet, but we're coming. Are you more hungry than you are afraid? See, that's another thing. That's number 4. You got to ignore what the world is doing and watch the greats. You can't be hungry hanging out with normal people every day, having conversations with regular people every day. Spend some time with some hungry people. Spend some time on the phone with some relentless people. Spend some time in the corner with some people that refuse. Come to a conference. Come to one of these live events. And just get a glimpse of what hungry looks like and what hungry gets you. And I promise you, it will shift your mindset. But again, nobody can get you hungry. Hungry people are all but almost guaranteed success. You know why? They won't have it any other way. Hungry people are almost all but guaranteed success because they are in the relentless pursuit of it. They look for success like we look for a job when we get laid off. Anybody ever lost their job in a bad economy and had to go out there and compete against highly educated and highly talented people to get a new job? That's what hungry people do every day. They go out into the world and they compete relentlessly. Same energy, same effort, different result. Same energy, same effort. I work about as many hours now as I worked as a corporate employee. Same energy, same effort, totally different result. So when you're hungry, and you know, you ain't got to, it doesn't have to be ho-hum. And this is the case for, you got to do what you love to do. You got to figure out that thing you love to do so that while you're doing it all day and all night, you don't feel bad. While you're doing it early in the morning or late at night, you don't feel bad. You look forward to getting up and you look forward to doing it because it's what you love to do. So if that thing is music or teaching other people or helping other people with their relationships or whatever it is, you got to find that thing that you love to do so that you can be in relentless pursuit of being great at that thing you love to do. Like I said, make it fun. Compete against yourself. That's your only competition anyway. So again, you got to ignore what the rest of the world's doing. Because the rest of the world will have you living by status quo. And if you want true elevation, look at the people around you who are elevating and say, I want that. And get with those people and say, hey, how do I get that? I'm sick and tired of the mundane. I'm sick and tired. And then once they say, hey, come do this, you got to do it all. You got to do it all. You can't skip steps and think you're going to make it. And that's number 5 is do the work. You know, there's so many people that, like I said, you know what it is that you want. The question is, are you willing to do the work, make the sacrifices, make the investments in order to get it? And 80%, 85% of the people's answer is no. About 14% of the people's answer is yes, but they don't really mean it. And that's why 10% of the people in the world control 80% of the world's wealth. It's because they mean it. So they're not just paying lip service to it. They're willing to do the work, which brings me to number 6. You got to train your mind. You got to train your mind. You can't be running around letting anybody. That's right, Teresa. I was just going to say that. And never let someone convince you that you don't belong at that level. You got to train your mind. This is like an Olympic race. So when your mind tells you, girl, you can't, you got to tell your mind, oh, yes, I can. And hanging out with people, I don't get this. I don't get this for the life of me. We run around hiring coaches that have never done the stuff that they're coaching you to do. We run around hanging out with people who've never done the stuff that we want to do. We run around taking advice from people that don't have the money or the lifestyle that we want to have. And I'm like, wow. Good morning, Tisha. I'm like, wow. At what point do you say, I'm going to align myself with somebody that is taking the journey regardless? And that's another thing, Valisha. You cannot be all over the place with who you listen to. Everybody else has got a different school of thought. And if you eat from too many plates, and that's what people do, I'm going to go over here and listen because it's free. I'm going to go over here and get some advice over here because it's free. And if you listen to too many people, or you eat too much food from too many plates, you're bound to get sick. And all because we can't sit still long enough to watch the business grow. And they don't grow overnight. And that's the true story. So you got to do the work. You got to train your mind. And number 7, I said you got to spend time with winners. And number 8, you got to realize hungry comes from inside. Hungry comes from inside of you. At the point where you say, enough. I've had enough. So this is what people say. They say I'm hungry, so I never lose the composure. That's the thing. I don't lose my hunger. And if I were to lose it, I will remember what I have to lose. You know, and that's why it's so, like I said, it's so critical that you have a mission. And that your mission is important to you. People say, I'm hungry, so I'm going to sign up for a coaching program. And then coach starts giving you assignments. And you say, I'm scared. Or you don't do them in totality. Or, no, that's okay, Malcolm. You don't do it in totality. Or you drag your feet to do it. So at that point, that's the equivalent of getting a gym membership and going to the gym and just sitting down and watching people work out. It's not going to work because you didn't do the work. Trust me, I know about gym memberships. And that you can't just get a snack and go to the gym and sit and watch everybody else and lose. You can't do it. I've tried it. Unless you go into the gym, get with a professional, do exactly what the professional tells you to do, it's not going to work. So you think that because you hired a professional or you got a gym membership, it's going to work. And you know what, Malcolm? This whole trip is fear. You may have just joined, but I said, look, me and my team earlier, let me show you. Matter of fact, is it in this book? Watch this. Let me show y'all something scary. So in April, we're doing New Orleans and we're doing 5 cities on the East Coast. In May, we're doing 5 cities in Texas. In June, we're doing 5 cities in Florida. In July, we're doing 5 cities in the South. I'm telling y'all about fear. In August, we're doing Vegas, and about 2 or 3 cities on the West Coast. In September, we're doing 5 cities in the Midwest, probably St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, Ohio, and Michigan. In October, we're doing 5 cities on the West Coast. In November, we're doing 5 cities in Louisiana, and my conference in Louisiana. And in December, we're doing a retreat in Puerto Rico. That's about 35 cities. I am scared out of my mind. What if don't nobody show up? What if we get tired? What if? But I'm going to go. I'm going to go and I'm going to learn. And whether it works or not, it's going to work for me. I'm going to make it work. And that's hungry, because that's exactly what Obama did. When they said, Obama, you will never be president, Obama said, shoot, I'm finna get out here on this campaign trail. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So here's the difference. You think you scared now, and you at ground zero, and you really ain't got nobody to fall. You really ain't got far to fall, and you really ain't got many people watching you. Have about a good 200,000 followers online, like I do, and then fall. See how high up you get, and then fall. Does that make sense? Who is that taking pictures? So once you really see, that there's fear at all levels. It's like a fear of heights. The higher up you go, the more afraid you get. How can I tell who's taking pictures? But does that make sense what I'm saying? So the fear's there. The fear's always going to be there. The higher up you go, the more you're going to get afraid. But fear is a skill too. And I'm actually doing a masterclass this weekend called Fight, Fear, and Win. bit.ly/Fight, Fear, 18. Yeah, tell me how I can find out who's taking pictures. bit.ly/Fight, Fear, 18. Because fighting fear is a skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's so many Jedi mind tricks that you can play to be able to fight fear. But at the same time, the more you fight, the stronger you get. Joyce Meyer says,